Some simple ways that you could start navigating the fretboard and easy ways to connect some lick ideas. We're talking about not just playing notes, but making good musical sense, right? Taking the notes and doing musically interesting things with them. And I'm going to be using a jam track you heard me play over, and I want to thank Quist. And the chords are pretty simple. It's just basically a 1, 4, 5 pretty much minor key. So important to know the chords that you're jamming over. It's the chords that give you the complete roadmap to the solo and improvisation opportunities. And if you want some killer sounding jam tracks, I can help you with that. I'll send you my jam track coach. 6 killer sounding tracks plus 2 ebooks. In the first ebook, I go over the track one at a time. I make some suggestions. We look at the chords. Here are some things to try, some soloing strategies. Here are the notes. Here are the chords, right? Try to make it all make sense. So I put all that in the first ebook, and if you don't know the scales, I list them out and diagram them in the second ebook, my scales ebook. So Jam Track 6, 2 ebooks for free. I'll send it to you. Just click on that link below. We're in the key of G minor. So over this track, you could use things like G minor pentatonic and G blues scales, right? But also G natural minor, G Aeolian mode. Okay, so let's look at one G natural minor scale off of the A string root, and this is movable, so go up to the G note on the A string that's at the 10th fret. And we're going to play this scale shape. Know where the G notes are. Very important. You have one on the G string, 12th fret. And you have, of course, you have the root note right there on the 10th fret on the A string. Now let's add to that one arpeggio. We're going to do a minor arpeggio. All an arpeggio is the notes of a chord played separately. And good arpeggio playing just doesn't play the arpeggio up and back, up and back, up and back, go to the next, up and back, up and back, up and back, right? I would never do that, just like you would never play a scale up and back, up and back, up and back, right? That's not music, that's just playing a scale. So we have to, good arpeggio playing mixes the arpeggios in with licks and notes and techniques and bends. You got to work it and get something out of it, right? Take the notes and do things with them. But let's start with the arpeggio, and that's, again, this is movable with your pinky finger on that same fret on the low E string root, 10th fret. Here's the shape, and that's minor arpeggio, root, flat, 3rd, 5th. So the notes, root, G, flat 3rd, B flat, and we have our 5th, D. It just repeats, G, B flat, D. Start picking notes out, and we could start making it musical. So what you want to do next, let's pick out our root note G, and we have a G here. Remember that arpeggio, we have our root note at the 8th fret on the B string. So I'm going to take some scale notes. Now we're starting to build licks. That simple, but what we're doing is we're mixing things up. What I'm doing is I used the slide that time, and I slid from the 10th to the 6th. And I go up to that D note, and then back to my G. So you get a lick like this. These half-step bends are so melodic and so important. And you have one on the high E string, bending 10 to 11. Half step, and one on the B string bending 10 to 11. And that's bending our A to B flat, right? All right, now we're making music, right? So another thing you could do is you could pick out the half steps again. Like for instance, there's my E flat to E, and I like that. You know, that's a real nice little Whenever you're playing that arpeggio, you can go up that half step and get that cool note. That's that flat 6 in the scale. And then you can start to pull off. Right? Or, I like that too. I skipped over the G note, pull off, up to the D, and then right to the D on the high E string. That's cool. And I'm back in my scale. And hey, if you could do me a favor, please subscribe to the channel. You know, subscribing to the channel, that really helps us to keep bringing the content. Leave a comment below. Let us know how you like this lesson, what lessons you'd like to see coming up. If you like the video, please click the like button. Give it a thumbs up, share it, and thank you so much for your support. Let's target our C note. Because remember that G minor changes to a C minor. When you're listening for those chords, that it almost sounded like the chord change because I targeted that C and I did it right as the chord change. I could hear the chord changes kind of inferred in my playing because I'm outlining them, and that makes powerful solo statements. So there's a cool little lick there where I'm going right down the arpeggio, but when I get to the G string, I go back and I slide it, and practice this, time it, and it sounds so good. You can time that right over that C chord. The last chord in the progression, it goes to that big D major chord. So I wanted to land on a D note to emphasize that chord. So what I did was I just did a basic descend right down the blues scale in G minor, because I'm on the G chord, G minor chord. And then the chord's coming up. I make sure I land, I do a little chromatic blues riff right onto that D chord. Now I'm on the D chord, so I did a little D minor pentatonic. Right? I went up here to this, you know, D minor pentatonic or D blues. But now it's going back to the G chord, G minor chord. Guess what? G natural minor. And I did a little legato thing. Because I wanted to end on that G note. So I'm targeting notes. So use that, have fun with it, practice it over jam tracks. Don't forget to get my jam track coach. Click on that link in the YouTube description box below. I'll send you 6 killer jam tracks and 2 ebooks, right, for free. Just click on that link below. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. That really helps us to keep bringing the content, as well as then you'll be notified when we have new lessons up. Thank you so much for your support over the years and years, and for checking out our lessons. So appreciate it.